Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, my dear students. Welcome to all of you in general science class. I'm your science teacher, Mrs. Madiha Ashraf. Students, we are doing chapter number 6, that is water. In our previous class, we have done water treatment. Let's recap what is water treatment. Water treatment is the process in which we make the water clean. What is clean water? Recall, clean water is the water that is fit or suitable for drinking purpose, and we can use it for the food preparation without having the health risk. So it means the water that comes out of the tap is not pure. We have to clean that water, we have to purify that water or free from the germs. What the treatment is, this is named as the water treatment. How many steps it involves? It involves the following steps: coagulation, sedimentation, filtration, and disinfection. Untreated water that may have some pollutants, soluble or insoluble, or having some microorganisms in it. We have to remove all these. The first step is named as screening or filtration. That removes the large object. If the untreated water having some sort of suspended particles or some objects in it, we can pass this water through the screening equipment, which can block these particles from entering the pipe. So that's why this is named as screening or filtration. The second step includes adding of the alum or chemical. That process was what? That was coagulation. In this step, what we do, we add some chemicals like alums. These alums attract the solid waste which are present inside the water and form the clumps. Then flocculation. Flocculation is what? The water containing solid waste. They coagulate with one another to form the larger mass. This mass can settle at the bottom. So time is allowed to settle it down in the sedimentation basin, and water and the floc now enter the settling tank and settled at the bottom. Then the water from this chamber is moved into the other process that is named as filtration. Filtration contains some layers of filters that made up of sand, charcoal, or gravel. These also remove some remaining waste which are present inside the water. After this process, the water is now clean, and now it is passed to the disinfection process, through which some chemicals like chlorine gas is added to kill the germs. So that's why this process is also named as chlorination. What other gases or what other chemicals we use as disinfectant? Can you name? Yes, these are fluoride salts or ozone gas. What it causes? It causes disinfection, or it causes the microorganism, to remove the microorganism, or it kills the microorganism. The water, after passing through this process, disinfection, this water is now fit for the drinking purpose, or it is named as clean or treated water. Where it goes, this water is now stored, or it is delivered to the community for domestic uses. So this is what this was named as water treatment. Now today we will see what are the uses of water, where we use the water. The most common uses of water are, we have divided into 3 subheadings. These are domestic uses of water, agriculture uses of water, and industrial uses of water. How much we use the water in domestic purpose, in agriculture, and industrial level. Let's see this pie chart. What does it show? The maximum portion that is shown, 70% blue area. These are the agriculture needs. So it means we consume lot of water in agriculture. Then the pink area is shown, that is about 22% for industrial needs. It means we use the water in industries. We will see in detail where we use this water. and 8% that we use in the domestic needs. These are some common uses and general quantity of the water that we use in these levels. Domestic and commercial use of water. Where we use water at home, you have to make a list of the uses of water. First, we use the water for drinking purpose and other household activities. Which other household activities like washing clothes, washing dish, washing car, watering the lawn and garden. So, in all these activities, whether it is washing, drinking, or using in the kitchen, we consume lot of water. On average, a human being uses 120 liters of water every day. That is the use of water in homes. The commercial use of water are also same as that of domestic. Like commercial use of water includes the use of water in school, hotel, restaurants, and educational institutes. These are similar, but both are largely depend on the public water supplies, and the resulting water goes where? These are named as wastewater. The water we use in our homes or in institutes or restaurants or hotel, after using, the water become waste and it is disposed of and thrown into the sewage system or enters into the sewage system. We should use water sensibly. Why? Why it is important to use water sensibly? Because water is one of those resources that we have on hand for most of the part. If you are blessed enough to live in an area without regular drought or conditions or poor water supply system, then it is easy to forget how precious the water is. Following that, it's just an easy to take for granted how much water you waste doing very simple everyday tasks. There is a table which is showing that how much we use the water in our daily life activities. Like flushing and washing, we use 39 liters. Washing and bathing, it includes or it consumes 37 liters of water. In laundry, we use 20 liters of water. Dishwashing and cleaning consume 12 liters of water. Gardening use 4 liters of water. Drinking and cooking, it includes how much? It includes 6 liters of water. Car washing roughly, that is 2 liters. So it means our daily life activities, these are all the daily life activities. We consume lot of water. But this water now is named as the wastewater. If we have to clean it, then we have to pass it through the process. What that process is? That process is named as the sewage treatment, and another treatment is also named, that is the water treatment. What is the sewage treatment? During the sewage treatment, we make this water free from the pollutant and then it is discharged into the water bodies and lakes, rivers. While if we want to drink that water, then we have to pass through a process that is named as water treatment process. What causes the shortage of water? Why we should use it sensibly? It depends on our use that water demand is increasing. Why? Because water shortage is there as the population is increases or the climate changes. And another factor is that is the water pollution. These all factors cause the shortage of water. Water level and water supply are becoming increasingly tight, which means that we all need to do our part to conserve the water wherever we can. Here we will talk about why it is important to conserve water. How saving water benefits you and some simple things you can change to start saving water right now. There are some simple things we can do on our individual level, saving water in our bathroom, like turn off the tap while brushing teeth, take shorter baths, turn off the tap while applying soap, turn off the tap after each use, and don't flush the tissue paper or other solid waste into the toilets because it consumes lot of the water or it wastes a lot of water. So these are the steps which we can take to consume the water. How these are number one, fix the leakage problem if there is any, like in the tap or any other leaking is there, because it consumes 90 liters of the water per week. It is estimated. And never leave the tap on while doing other tasks like while brushing your teeth. It also wastes the water. And have a shorter time to take shower, and you can also list up some other activities where we waste the water. So we have to save the water by taking some steps. Now we'll see the other uses of water, that is recreational use of water. What does it mean, recreational use of water? We use the water in some activities which are just for fun or suppose as the exercise. So water is used for recreational activities. Which activities are these? These are boating, skating, surfing, swimming and fishing, and many more are there. Water can be in solid state, liquid state or gaseous state. So it means the water sports can be in solid state, can be in liquid state or can be in gaseous state, like skating. Like skating is the water sport that is in the solid state. Swimming, this activity is performed in liquid water, while in steam bathing, that is in sauna, it takes place in the gaseous state of water. These are some of the recreational activities which are in water are shown. Like swimming is shown here, surfing is shown here, sailing, boating. These are just for the fun, or these are the sports, water sports. Now there is an activity for you. You have seen many of the water sport activities. Can you name these activities? Yes, this is scuba diving. We all humans want to explore what is beneath the sea. So this is what we want to explore, what is happening or which type of animal or plant species are underwater. What is happening here? These are the skating. Surfing, boating. These all are the recreational use of water. And these activities are in which form of the water? In liquid state of the water. There is an activity that is steam bathing that takes place in sauna. What is sauna? A sauna is basically a small room designed as a place where people can enjoy wet or dry experience, all in very high heat. Like water is in the form of steam in this room to maintain the temperature of this room or hot temperature of this room. What are the benefits or why people use steam bathing in this sauna? Because it gives them the relaxation and also in some sort of treatment like pain relief. It is used as a pain relief. So this activity is performed in gaseous state of water. What this is the steam bathing. And other use of water, that was the 70% use. we have seen in the pie chart, water is used in agriculture. Agriculture, we all depends for food because it is the reliable supply of food and material needed to sustain life. People no longer need to travel in search of food and supplies. What we prepare or what we take from the agriculture, these are the example of uses that we prepare: food, dyes, perfume, resins, fiber, medicine, and biofuel. The key step to developing modern agriculture, it include the number 1 irrigation, number 2 crop rotation, number 3 fertilizer, number 4 pesticides. Means to improve the agriculture or development of modern agriculture includes these steps. We will discuss here the irrigation. Irrigation is the artificial supply of water to the crops. Farmers use water to irrigate their crops. In this way, they use thousands of liters of water to irrigate their crops in the dry weather. What is irrigation? We can define irrigation when water is artificially added to soil that helps them to grow is called irrigation, or it is the man-made sources of water constructed for the purpose of cultivating plants. The purpose of irrigation, number 1, it brings the water to areas during time of drought. Drought when there is no rainfall or where there is little rainfall. Then we have to supply artificial water to the land so that it can fulfill the needs of the plants or the crops. And the second purpose of the irrigation is it allowed people to cultivate plants, or farmer can cultivate the plants in those areas that do not have the natural source of water. Means soil is dry and it do not have the sufficient water in it, so the farmer use the irrigation. Different ways of irrigation are there. The first type of the irrigation is named as a surface irrigation. Means simply the water under the action of gravity can travel from place to the crops. Different techniques can be used, or different equipments can be used, like water sprinklers are there, water pipes are there, water sprinklers are there, or just like the shower that we can use in our home to water the plants in our garden. So this is the different way of irrigation. What is irrigation? Irrigation is the watering to plant artificially, or supplying of the water to the plants artificially. Now we will see another use of water that is very important, hydroelectric power. Hydroelectric power means the plants, hydroelectric power stations or the hydroelectric power plants, they use water. They use water to generate electricity. How? The falling water or the flowing water turns the plants turbines which are connected with the generators, and that produce the electricity. What are generators? The generators produce the electricity. The energy from the falling water is converted to mechanical that moves the turbines, and turbines connected with the generator. So mechanical energy converts into the electrical energy. And in hydroelectric power station, about 20% of the world's electricity is produced. It is an efficient and renewable energy source. Renewable energy sources are those energy sources which we can repeatedly use or which do not run off. And hydroelectric power, what is the advantage? That it just depends on the good supply of water. Some other uses of water are, water can be used to cool the machines. Like you have seen, when your vehicle become hot, like in the car, then we use water to cool it down. So car radiator is the first example. We use water to cool the radiator. Similarly, in some thermoelectric power plants, we use the water. What is the thermoelectric power stations? Where we produce the electricity. As the name shows, thermo means heat. So in these type of power stations, electricity is produced by using heat from the burning of fossil fuels, nuclear, or some other energy sources. What is the use of water here? Because we are discussing here the uses of water. water is primarily used for cooling purpose. So very little amount of water is consumed here. Industrial and mining. It means water is also used in some industries and mining. How? Like this picture is showing you the boiler. The steam boiler is there. So it means to produce heat, and also it is used as a solvent, or it can be used to cool the parts of different machines. Like in some pharmaceutical industries, preparation of medicines, water is used as a solvent, like aspirin. You have seen this medicine. It dissolves in water readily. So water is used in industries as a solvent or to produce heat, like in the boilers. Now this is the time to solve a test yourself related to this lesson. Question number 1 is there. Name one recreational use of water in which water is in the liquid state, water is in the solid state, and in the gaseous state. You can write any one of the example by your own choice. Question number 2 is, what is irrigation? Irrigation, we can describe the irrigation. It is the process in which water is artificially added or water is artificially supplied to the soil to help the growth of the crops. And second part of this question, why do farmers irrigate their crops? Because when there is little rainfall or when there is a situation of the drought, then the water is supplied to the crops artificially. And also to those areas where there is natural supply or the natural source of water is not fulfilling the condition for the plant's growth. Question number 3, how much world's electricity is produced via power generators? You have to write it down by your lecture. This is all our today's lecture. Thank you, students. Have a nice day. Allah Hafiz.